Hello, hello. Anyone hear me? Can I just get an audio check? I haven't done like the usual opening or stuff because it's not going to be like a proper stream. Oh, yes, showing the audio well. But can you guys hear me there? Anyone hear me? Hello. Bought this game but have not tried it. Okay, but can you hear me? That's the main. Enigma. Yes. Okay, so there is audio, so people can hear me. So this isn't going to be like a proper stream. This is just more of an update stream to let you guys know what happened and the like. I just have this on in the background. Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic is the game in the background that I'm just fiddling about with, just so that there's something stimulating your attention in the background. Not really going to be talking about Ukraine because in certain ways there hasn't really been much happening in Ukraine, which is kind of beneficial to me. This downtime, we're all waiting for the offensive, and really isn't that much big news coming out, so it kind of benefits me that there isn't really much happening over there, which means I kind of get a pass to a degree to get away with not paying too much attention to it. So see how many people are in. How many people are in before we can get into it? Let's just throw that up. So I'll probably repeat this a couple of times for people who come in and out of the stream as it goes. Yeah, my channel got struck a few days ago, but thankfully that has been reversed. But I kind of want a few more people in here come in before I really start to go into it. But so I did a stream last month whenever Wagner was really pushing. I said the word, the orchestra was pushing into Bakhmut. I did a stream kind of focusing specifically on them, and I don't know if I can mention his name, but the conductor, we will call him, the bald Russian man who runs the orchestra. So I did a stream on the orchestra and the conductor and their various activities and what was happening in Bakhmut. It seemed to go well. I would have imagined that was one of the far less controversial streams I've done, considering I did a stream that is literally called America is Conducting a Pro Silly Billy Revolution in Georgia. I would have thought that would have been one that might have incurred the wrath of YouTube, but no. For some reason, the YouTube algorithm seemed to pick up on my stream on the orchestra and the conductor man in Bakhmut, and they gave me a strike instead, that I was effectively endorsing a criminal organization, which kind of sucked. And as part of that, I lost streaming privileges. I had a strike on my channel, and the channel was completely demonetized, all in one swoop. So logged on to YouTube, seen that kind of sucked. Kind of spurred out on Twitter, let you guys know, in Telegram. But the good news is that YouTube, thankfully, whenever I reached out to them on Twitter, they came back and seemed to have completely reversed all that, which was nice of them. I think, you know, we all not the biggest fan of YouTube, but I have to give them a bit of props here because, well, I'll start from the start. So I logged onto YouTube saying that the video was gone. I was demonetized, couldn't stream, had a strike. Appealed it, and within 30 seconds of the appeal going in for this like 3 hour long stream I did, immediately rejected. Appeal was rejected, can't appeal anymore, demonetization gone forever. So that was a bit grating. So after that, I then spurged out at Twitter on YouTube on Twitter, and they responded to me. Kind of gave me what I thought was going to be like a just fob off answer, as in like, we'll look into this, we'll be back in touch in a couple of days. So left it to it, started to look at other options, looked at Rumble, Odyssey, that kind of stuff, and lo and behold, yesterday I logged on to YouTube and let me have a look. Still there. Well, whenever I look at my YouTube studio, I still get the messages for like a community guidelines warning, appeal rejected, but I don't have the strike on my channel anymore, and monetization seems to be back. I'm not going to be cheeky enough to ask anyone to like actually send a super chat in to test it, but the little like monetization tab and summary of income is back up, whereas before that was completely blanked out. So I'm assuming monetization is back, and I'll touch briefly onto that because I'm always a bit garish about talking about shilling, but touch briefly on that in a bit later. But yeah, looking through my emails, I have no actual emails from YouTube telling me they've reversed the... Yeah, so I think it's gone because I can't see it on the channel, but I haven't gotten any communication from YouTube telling me like this strike is gone. I do have an email telling me like your account is now enabled for monetization, which is good. So I'm assuming that's official confirmation of it there. So, you know, we all hate YouTube. We all not the biggest fan of YouTube, but I have to give them a bit of props here. They did come through on me on this one, which is quite nice. I do think, let's have a look. I'm not going to promote the video in question because I might take it down because I don't want to play with fire, as it were, but the video was put back up. It's one of the better viewed videos I've done. 1,300 views, streamed 2 weeks ago, called "The Orchestra Finally Breaks Through in Bakhmut, Ukrainian Defense Cracking." That was the specific video that got hit. They didn't specify anything in the video whenever I looked like the thing of why they hit it. They just, in YouTube Studio, whenever you get like a copyright claim or something, usually they'll give you like a time frame in the video between so many minutes and seconds to so many minutes and seconds of like what the offense is. Whenever I looked at the stream, it just, the entire stream registered as like breaking a community guideline. So not too sure specifically what part ran afoul, but I guess it's kind of moot now that they've corrected it. But from my understanding is like Wagner isn't yet legally or formally perhaps I said the W word, the orchestra. If I get demonetized again because I've said that word. As far as I'm concerned, like as far as I'm aware, I don't think the orchestra and Bald Conductor Man is officially registered in the United States or in the United Kingdom, like a criminal entity or a criminal individual. It might be sanctioned, but you know, being sanctioned and being legally registered or officially registered as a criminal are two different things. So I'm not too sure what the specific part of it is. Another person who's a YouTuber reached out to me and like told me there was a point where I said that the Bald Conductor Man seemed to be one of the more honorable figures involved in the whole hullabaloo in Ukraine because of X, Y, and Z reasons. He said that's probably the part that got you hit. But again, it's like whenever YouTube spoke to me about it, it was just the entire stream from start to finish was the offending part of the community guideline. So I'm not too sure what exactly like YouTube policy is on that kind of stuff. It's nice to be back, as it were, and restored to good standing, but I knew from whenever I started the channel, and I mean I'm only a small channel, still fairly small, and I'll probably only ever remain fairly small, but I knew that sooner or later, considering the stuff I talk about and the sort of slant politically and socially that I approach it from, I was going to fall foul at some point or another. I just found it it was a little grating for it to have been the reason that it was, but again, thankfully that is moot because it's been reversed. It was just kind of a very strange reason, my reckoning, as to why they did it. So going forward, I need to stop saying the W word and P-man. I'll just try and substitute the orchestra and bald conductor man, I guess, is the nom de guerre that I will apply to those two entities and individuals. Hopefully they try and remain in YouTube good standing, which kind of brings me on to the next point. So the reason why I was a little miffed by the YouTube thing is because in the grand scheme of things, it's like, and I hate to talk about the whole, you know, shilling stuff and monetary stuff, but like YouTube is like the biggest thing that kind of brings in like donations and support for me whenever I do stream and stuff. Because Subscribestar doesn't seem to like want to engage with me at all, which is frustrating. I've never had any communication back from them. My account just seems to be stuck in eternal limbo and dormant on the review process. I don't think it's anything to do with me personally. I just think that the people who run that site might be fairly hands-off, because I've got two very large YouTubers who I'm quite chummy with who have accounts there, and they bring in substantial income on that, who say themselves like they never really they've only heard from like Subscribestar once, and that was like to sort out a tax or billing information or something along those lines, and they've never had any communications from them. And apart from that, is the money pays on time, it comes in each month and it pays out, no problems asked. So I don't know if it's because I'm fairly small and I don't really have much of a profile, if they just kind of figure no point bringing on a small creator onto the platform as such. The reason why I'm talking about this is Subscribestar would kind of work very well for me because, like I say, I've got two guys, fairly large content creators who are quite chummy with, who are on the platform. One of them I know is especially hot whenever it comes to like people going out of their way to demonetize and deplatform them, but Subscribestar's never done it to him, and it pays out regular. So to me, in my mind, I was like, if the Subscribestar did allow me on, is I could close down the PayPal, the coffee account, and just kind of direct everyone there, because I know that's sustainable. That's going to be, you know, that was kind of my mindset around it. But because Subscribestar has not kind of done that for me, is it's just kind of grown to, it comes to donos on PayPal, which are all very greatly appreciated. For some reason, I don't know why, but when the PayPal's meant to send like an automated thank you, and I know an automated isn't that good, but I'm not very good at responding stuff, but there should be like an automated thank you that goes out whenever people send me stuff on PayPal. I don't know why that is. It did work at one point, but it seems to stop working, and I don't know how to fix it. But PayPal and then YouTube is like the biggest thing, where I bring in stuff that just kind of makes this financially sustainable and stuff for me, and motivates me to do it. Through super chats and a very small amount of ad revenue that comes in and the like. That's kind of why I was a little miffed by YouTube just kind of cut me off, because yeah, I know I'd prefer it as well, but YouTube takes like 30%, and I'd prefer if people didn't really send 30% of the money to YouTube, so I'm kind of looking at like entropy and stuff like that. But it was just kind of like annoying whenever YouTube took that off. It's back now, but it's kind of like signals been sent. I have to walk on eggshells, as it were, on YouTube, which I should have always been doing. I always knew this was going to happen at some point or another. Just kind of a wake up and like push, not a shot across the bow, but it's been reversed. But you know, the message, and it's kind of imprinted on me now that I have to sort of put a bit more thought into this. So that's kind of the where YouTube stands at the moment. I'm not going to leave the platform, even if like the channel gets demonetized and stuff. I mean, YouTube is kind of like the place where you have to build. Twitter and YouTube are like the social medias you have to be on to sort of build traction and stuff. So I'll never really leave YouTube, even if they like completely demonetize me. Like if I'm completely shadow banned or something, then there's no point then. But YouTube's kind of where my videos might get a bit more traction and build up a bit of an audience. But I'm thinking I've kind of neglected the Odyssey for a while, so I'm thinking I'm going to try and build that up at some point. And I've set up a Rumble. I've literally just set up the account. I've not like done anything to it, but I'll explore Rumble a little bit going forward. But when that will be, not too sure. So this will go into another thing that's been going on behind the scenes. So some of you guys, I'm sure, have noticed that there's been a bit of a not standoff, but a hands-off approach I've taken to Telegram the past couple of weeks or so. No super chat option showing for me. I don't really think I can like donate to myself. So it says that I am remonetized, but it says not standoff, but hands-off. Sorry if that's yeah, looking on my alt account, it's not showing up there. Okay, so that's a little bit annoying. So I don't know if super chats are back or do I have to reapply or something, because like I say, the only contact I've had from YouTube is an email telling me they have remonetized the account. Let me go to earn supers. Okay, super chat, super thanks, super stickers. Okay. Probably not going to show up in this stream because I've literally just turned it on, so it might have to be the next stream that it turns up on. But so what I've just done is I've gone into the channel monetization feed thing on like the studio, and I think I've just turned on super chat, super stickers, and super thanks. That must like have turned off whenever they demonetized me, and I needed to go in and manually remonetize it. So don't think it'd show up because this stream was started before that since I've turned it on, but maybe the next stream, hopefully that comes back. Well, we'll see whenever I do another stream. So that's that. Okay. So that's kind of the YouTube situation and some of my thoughts on like the monetization stuff. So what was I just saying? Oh yeah. So I'm sure some of you guys have noticed, sort of taken a bit of a hands-off approach to the Telegram and other stuff the past week or so. There's a couple of reasons for that. I just kind of hit burnout again. I know it's going to sound a bit strange. Well, you're just looking at like, you're just doing stuff on Telegram and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but I've been doing this pretty much day in, day out for over a year now. Yeah, there's been days off, and there was a week or two here where I kind of took a step back from this stuff, but like, I've pretty much day in, day out. If I haven't been posting in the Telegram channel, I have been just reading stuff or following updates. That's kind of the stuff that I've been doing for over a year now. So I just kind of hit a bit of burnout a couple of weeks back. Instead of just sort of dropping the channel for a couple of weeks like I did last April, I've just kind of taken a bit of a step back, to just sort of chill out a bit, which is kind of thankful because we're all waiting for the big Ukrainian counteroffensive that's inevitably coming but hasn't come yet. And you know, that's kind of maybe our good friend Ben in the Ukrainian army took my plea and sent up the message to Ukrainian high command, tell them, yeah, can we just push off the offensive so that Michael can just have a bit of a chill out and get sorted out in his end. So if that happened, thanks Ben, really appreciate it. Thank you, General Zhioli and Ukrainian army, I appreciate it. If the Russians, to General Valery Gerasimov, Vladimir Vladimirovich, if you guys could also keep things off just a couple days more on your end, keep things nice and chill so there's no big stories that I kind of miss just while I sort of discombobulate, that would be great. But so I've just kind of hit burnout for a bit, just need to kind of step back, chill out, wind out a bit. It's just really starting to become mind-numbing to me, and I should probably have said that whenever I kind of started to step back a bit to you guys. It wasn't quite fair, but I just kind of needed to take a break, and I'm one of these people where I don't think I'm ADD, and I'm not autistic. Just putting that out there on the record for the person who watches this and thinks I am autistic. Like, whenever I say that, that's a meme, that's an internet thing, but I don't think I am ADD, but I kind of get really invested in something. So like the Ukraine stuff, you know, I've gone on for a year with that. I'm sure if you know of this game, you'd probably understand, like, this is a very intensive game with a lot of different parts and you have to get really invested in it. So that's kind of where I am. But I kind of, like, whenever I lose interest in something, like, it's dead. I'm just dead for a couple days or a week or so to try and rebuild back up to it. So whenever I got a bit burned out of the constant Ukraine updates, I'm not going to talk about it too much because I know it's not really a lot of your guys' forte, but I kind of, like, Fish Tank started and I really got into Fish Tank. Fish Tank is Sam Hyde's, like, Big Brother thing, and I'm not a reality TV guy. Had no interest in Big Brother, but if you know of Sam Hyde and Sam Hyde doing a Big Brother type thing, you'd understand the appeal of that if you are a fan of Sam Hyde. And it's called Fish Tank, and I kind of really gotten into Fish Tank, and it's really entertaining, and that's kind of where I put a lot of my focus. So just attention and stuff was engaging in the Fish Tank stuff. So why am I going on about the Fish Tank stuff? So I haven't just, like, dropped everything from this kind of stuff. The burnout happened, the YouTube stuff happened, which kind of really like drove me down a bit. Like, it really sapped a lot more of my will, as it were. Didn't get depressed or anything gay like that. Like, it just kind of, the motivation kind of sapped a bit more from there. YouTube's rectified, as it seems, so it's come back a bit more. But been really focusing on the Fish Tank stuff, and as part of the Fish Tank stuff, I'm not going to talk to you about Fish Tank, just my interactions with it, because again, I know a lot of you guys have no interest in Fish Tank. That's okay, not shilling it to you, but give it a try. I think some of you guys would like it, especially if you're Sam Hyde fans. But my interaction with the Fish Tank stuff is, like, the community is really creative in it. It's constantly chugging out memes and videos and stuff. So what I've been doing is I've been playing about with a couple of memes and video editing and stuff. And the way I'm sort of viewing it is, while I'm a bit burned out on the Ukraine stuff, though, whenever the Ukrainian counteroffensive properly does start, I know that's when my interest will immediately come back to it. Legitimately on my own personal level, but also my obligation to you guys. So until that sort of happens, I've been really focusing on the Fish Tank stuff, and I've been making, like, dabbling into making some of these wacky videos and some of these memes and stuff. And as part of that, I think I'm starting to build up a bit of a skill set, so that maybe not quite streams itself, but videos. I think I'm building up a bit of a skill set on trying to make a lot more cohesive videos, a lot more entertaining videos, like wacky edits, building up, my shitty thumbnails. I think a bit of my photoshopping has been building up a bit as well through making some of these wacky Fish Tank memes and stuff. So why I've kind of gone off and they're dabbling about with a bunch of autistic retards on Fish Tank and laughing at them and stuff. That's just not me having funs and giggles, although that is the primary motivation of it is my interaction with that is I think I'm building up my skill set, which I can put back into this stuff. So that's kind of where, if I am ADD or whatever it is, or whatever, I kind of think that's how that loop might come back round. So it's not just me like running off and having fun. While that is certainly going on, is I also think I'm kind of building up my video editing skills, because I know I've promised it for a while. The tank video, my sort of theory on Russian tanks and why certain types are coming out of storage and stuff, that is in the works. I've kind of got this a bit of a quasi script done out, and I've been doing voice notes and clipping them together. The thing that I keep having is I get bits of footage and stuff, and I start to put them together to match up with the audio that I've got for it, and then I'll spend about an hour and a half putting together clips. Then I'll go off and play about in the fish tank community, play about with some of the memes and stuff, and then I'll learn something new, some new bit of like video editing stuff, and then I'll be like, come back to work on the tank video, and then I'll look at the footage there, and then I'll just think like, this looks bad, and then I'll scrap all that again and restart it again with what I've just kind of, some wacky edit or some new feature that I've just discovered how to do in Premiere Pro. So it's kind of like a constant rehearsals of the tank video. So I honestly can't give you guys like a time frame on that, and I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. I'm very good at starting stuff and having creative visions, but then actually seeing it through to the end is a completely different question altogether. But that's kind of the stuff that's kind of going on behind the scenes. So yeah. So I hope that's kind of giving you guys a bit of a breath of what's happening here with the channel and stuff behind the scenes. I might take down some of the old streams, because it took like 2 weeks before the YouTube algorithm decided to pluck out the orchestra video and then crush it. I know of one particular stream that I've done relating to Georgia that I think might at some point hit the algorithm. So I might go back and yeet those streams. I'll keep them up for a day or so. So if you're really interested to go back and watch them or archive them, I don't know why someone would want to archive my shit streams or whatever, but if that's the kind of stuff you want to do, probably now in the next day or so, do that. Because I think it's time to start to walk on eggshells on YouTube. And as part of that, I think I'm going to try and spice up the thing. So I might do a stream on YouTube, and then I might do a stream on Odyssey, and then depending how I feel on Rumble, because I have to say the user interface on Rumble is not the best. I look at it, it kind of burns my eyes. But I might sort of alternate streams between different platforms to try and encourage people like off of YouTube and to diversify a bit, you know, kind of build up a bit of a cushion for myself should the worst ever come to happen on one of these platforms. That's not to say like a stream would just, if I stream on Odyssey, that stream won't just stay on Odyssey as it was. This is the plan anyway. Don't hold me to this, but this is how I conceive of it in my head. That stream wouldn't just stay on Odyssey. I might keep it up on Odyssey for like 24 hours as like a bit of an exclusive, and then I'd re-upload it to say Rumble or to YouTube or something like that. That's kind of the way I'm envisioning it in my head, as it were. But then again, I have all these great plans, but then actually seeing them through to fruition is a different thing altogether. But that's kind of how I'm conceiving it whenever I properly start to get back into this stuff. Tomorrow is probably a bit too short, but I'm kind of keen on the idea of like a community gaming event. So there was the Tannenberg thing last weekend. I'm thinking maybe next weekend I might do Hell Let Loose, because I know there's a couple of guys who have that game who were saying that they would join that. So if you're into that kind of thing, I'm thinking Sundays will be like community gaming events, and we'll just pick out like a various shooter or something that a bunch of people in the channel have. They can come in and just sort of chill out, and we can all play together. Just kind of build up those parasocial relationships, chat, so that you can all feel like I am personally invested in being your friend. And go around and tell your family that you have a friend. His name is Michael. He's pretty cool and wacky and annoying and awkward, and you hate him or whatever. So That's kind of my goal, to build up a cult parasocial following that everyone on social media seems to desire most to have. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But this all comes with a bit of a caveat. So this stuff has been time intensive for like a year now, especially whenever big things happen. And I tried to keep it a bit, and I know I'm coming back into the shilling stuff again, but I've kind of tried to keep the shilling a bit off to the minimum. But so I've done stuff outside of this stuff to try and keep this stuff like on the road, you know, so I can actually live for the internet and do this stuff. I've done little odd jobs and a couple of side hustles on the side. But as I come into this, like, I have plans with what I wanted to do this year. I've got a couple of weddings I've been invited to. I want to go to Serbia. I would really like to get to Belarus at some point this year, but and also just have a bit of a higher standard of living. So the way things are at this moment are not quite sustainable as they are for me. Well, not at this moment, but as of 2 weeks ago, where the constant day in, day out Telegram stuff. So essentially what I'm saying is that I'm probably going to be looking for a job. I know that probably has rung certain things in people's heads. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to be looking for a bit of a part-time job to augment my side income and stuff. Because the way it's going is like I'm losing money every month. So this isn't like an appeal or anything. This is just laying out the facts for you guys. So I don't know what way this will take going forward. I'm probably going to get, like, I don't know, a little service job, like a bar job, mixing cocktails or something along those lines. Something I'll do in the evenings every couple days or something. So how that's going to fit in with the time schedules and constant updates and stuff like that, don't know. But that's probably where I'm going to have to go within the next couple weeks to a month. Really need to start making a bit of bike, because for the past few months I've and I know it's basically more me to blame because I haven't been streaming on a regular basis, but there's just been some expenses that have come up, and essentially for the past few months this has been at a cost to me. Like I've been losing money, and I just can't quite justify it to myself and to other people in my life at the moment. So a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, not abandoning the channel, not at all. Going to keep at it, going to try and keep it as much as back to the sort of original thing as originally planned. But these are the things and pressures and stuff that's going on behind the scenes as well. So building up a skill set. This is what you guys get out of it. Building up a skill set, going to try and get a more cohesive sort of schedule planned out for stuff and diversifying off into other platforms. But on the flip side is I might be here a bit less whenever I start to get back into this stuff, because I might, you know, have to go off and work on a side job or something just to try and bump up the income to make ends meet and put a bit of money away for the stuff I want to do later in the year. So that's the kind of stuff that's going on here. So you came here for a Ukraine stuff. Sorry, probably do a proper Ukraine stream on Monday or Tuesday. But to be honest, there really hasn't been much, I think, overly worth talking about in Ukraine. There was a big strike on a fuel depot in Sevastopol this morning. That's kind of the biggest story. In terms of like changes in the front, the orchestra is chipping away in Bakhmut, but there really hasn't been much changes anywhere along the front. We're all still kind of waiting with bated breath for the ever-present but not yet arriving Ukrainian counteroffensive. So, I mean, I'm not too sure how much I can really spin out of a proper in-depth Ukraine stream since the last one, but I might do a stream on Monday or Tuesday. Just giving a bit of an update and probably just chatting about other stuff. Might touch a bit more on the Sudan stuff. But there's a lot of developments there, but that still is the whole Sudan issue is still quite clouded to me. I think I have an idea of what's happening on the ground in terms of the factions and who's fighting where and controlling what. But in terms of like the personalities and the whys, still a little bit clouded to me. But so I might touch a bit more on Sudan. So, that's kind of the game plan as it is at the moment. So I think I have a couple more stuff that I was planning to say as I scroll about looking at my little Soviet city waiting for stuff to build. That have the things there's something else I was meaning to discuss, but it's kind of dropped out the top of my head. So until then, I mean, do any of you guys have anything you want to say? Let's have a look and see if you guys see if it might tweak my mind. So okay, super chats must be working because Enigma for $20 US. Thank you so much. Just because we think you're super. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. So super chats seem to be back to functionality now. So that is, I think that's pretty much confirmed that the monetization is back in full. Amon21 for €5. Thank you so much. Some shackles for you, Michael. Keep half-assing it. We like it. Thank you. I hope my poor quality attempts at making content are endearing in some form or another. But as I say, thanks to Fish Tank and my morbid obsession with watching autistic people in a house being tortured by Sam Hyde, are inspiring me to upgrade my video and Photoshop skill set. So hopefully the quality will improve a bit more. I have downloaded Entropy. I really need to sit down and sort of look into how to properly operate that. Also, I think it might have been in my channel or somewhere else, but if someone does know if there's like a plugin or pardon me, if there is a plugin or a way on OBS to like stream to multiple platforms at once, please let me know. Or do I have to individually open up a new OBS instance? A new OBS instance for each platform I want to stream on, which would be just like I can't run 2 or 3 OBSs to like move between different screens on each one. So if anyone knows if there's like a plugin or something on OBS to allow me to stream on multiple platforms, please let me know in the Telegram or in YouTube. Please DM me. That would probably alleviate problems of constantly streaming on YouTube and then never actually remembering to upload them back onto Odyssey. Potentially Rumble as well. Let's have this Telegram. I think I looked into this originally, but I don't think Telegram has like a stream key that you can plug into OBS. No, because I'd have to look into, I'd have to schedule live stream with stream key. Never share your, okay. Okay, there is a stream key on Telegram, so I might explore trying to like restart streaming on Telegram. But the big thing is if I could get an OBS like plugin or whatever it need to be that I can just fire up, and it's just one OBS, so I can only manage one OBS, changing between the various things that I'm looking at and putting up on screen between Telegram, YouTube, Odyssey, and potentially Rumble. Then that I think that would be pretty, that would solve some of the underlying problems behind me. Then the only one that would really stand out is Subscribe Star. They would ever actually engage with me. So the only other thing really is I'm doing squats, lifting weights and doing squats. Not fat. I put on a bit of weight over Christmas, but I'm not fat, never really been fat, but I'm doing squats and it's destroying my legs. And from my understanding is, I know this is more like a narcissism stream of me just pontificating about myself, but like I say, there's reasons for that. My sort of quasi-absence from the channel haven't been completely to waste. You get good content and you get to hear me that I'm doing squats and destroying my legs, and I've been lifting weights for a while now, but kind of dropped out of it, getting back into that. So Trying to improve myself in many ways, and I'm going to try and make an apple pie tonight. Oh, kind of the big stories chat. Burned out, obsessed with Fish Tank, slowly learning how to make edgy memes and video edits via Fish Tank, and I'm doing squats, lifting weights, well, trying to get back into lifting weights, and trying to expand my palate. I might cook the squid. Not going to do cooking videos, but I'll be sure to post them in the channel, because I know when everyone joined my Telegram to find out about horrific war crimes in Ukraine, they also came to explore me cooking and eating horrific food, and hear about me squatting, and also the obligatory ever-present hatred of Troons. So, bunker housing for 100 Swedish krona. Thank you so much. Now I can send. Here is a piece of my salary. Also, give us your take on History Legends' latest video about Kosovo. Also, Arco ladies want more Smash and Pass streams. I haven't watched the History Legends video on Kosovo. Like I said, pretty much the only content I've been watching for the past week has been Fish Tank. My obsession with that has just grown to absolute insane levels, but maybe a video on Kosovo might be a bit of an uplift, so I might watch it and give my take on it in the channel. Smash or Pass, like, I know Carolina really likes the Smash Pass stream. She's really obsessed with it, but I mean, it was kind of a gimmick for Christmas. And I was a bit drunk at the time. I'm like I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the Smash or Pass streams are really like a thing. It was a drunken Christmas thing once. Like, what are we going to do? Like, most of my channel's guys really going to jump in to like be asked if they're going to Smash or Pass Bald Conductor Man. Gonna Smash or Pass like Zelensky. Like, it was an edgy Christmas thing. I'm not too sure if like actually much of an appetite for it. My attention only goes so far, and I've only got so much time in the day between wasting my life playing this video game, watching Fish Tank, doing squats, doing stuff that earns me money behind the scenes. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm not saying never say never, but it's not exactly high up on the agenda at the moment. So, I think you can buy a streaming card that fits into the PCIe slot. I just DDG searched how to stream on multiple platforms using OBS, and there is a video that pops up. OBS stream to multiple platforms or channels at once. So this is okay. This was a literally let me Google that for you. Now the amazing. Configure OBS to. I don't know what I'm looking. This looks like. It needs to be simple. It needs to be easy for me to do. Is there a video tutorial? Because if it's really complex, and I don't know, this OBS project Fred I'm looking at is like got code in it, and I don't know how to code. I'm not going to learn coding just for OBS. How to stream live to multiple platforms YouTube video. Bald man with a groomer looking mustache, really bad beard. But this is Restream, and I don't particularly want to deal with Restream. Yeah, that's for Restream widgets. There's a couple of video tutorials. Oh, pardon me. I'll look into that, watch some of these video tutorials. If I can just keep it on the OBS app, and it's simple, and I only need to learn it once, and then the rest of it's like writing a book. And it's all contained to the OBS app. It doesn't need me to then sign into Restream and run it through Restream. Like, if it can just be done on OBS, it's... Oh, pardon me. Might take a couple minutes to set up and learn, but after that, it's just a click here and there. That's what I need. So I'll look through some of these OBS streaming tutorials. And see where we get with that. So, he can recruit. He can recruit his. He can recruit his barflies to sub as well. Ooh. And recruit. No super. Okay, we've sorted that. You think the strike in Crimea was a desperate move for the Z-Man? No. I don't think it's a desperate move. From what I can see, the oil facility in Crimea that was hit, it's a strategic oil reserve. It fuels civilian operations, but it also fuels Russian military operations in Crimea. So it's kind of a logical military target. I wouldn't say it's a desperate one. And we don't know what kind of drone hit it or something, but clearly another bit of a letdown by Russian air defense. You would imagine a strategic oil reserve would be kind of fairly high up on the list as a place you want to put air defense assets. But early days, from my understanding, is it still on fire? Where's my Sevastopol channel? Oh dearie me, why am I so sleepy at the moment? Where is it? Still on fire. Have a look at the Sevastopol Telegram group. Before the attack of the armed forces of Sevastopol, no, that should be okay. I'll share this into the channel because this is quite interesting. Apparently there was an American E-3 sentry off the coast of Sevastopol whenever the Ukrainian drone came in. So looks like the Americans colluded with the Ukrainians to get it through the Russian air defense potentially. I'll just share that latest update from Sevastopol Telegram group. There was an American AWAC E-3 sentry operating off the coast whenever it happened. Still on fire? Yeah, it looks like it's still on fire. It's thousands of tons of oil and petroleum have gone up on fire, so that's probably going to burn for quite a while. Pretty mad smoke all over the city. Prices of fuel in Crimea, I can imagine, are probably going to spike quite heavily in the days to come. Opening burning has been eliminated in an area. Okay, so most of the fire seems to have been put out. But as much oil as Russia can have and put into the field, I can imagine that's probably going to sting a little. Yeah, and strategic oil reserves, that's where they kept it in bulk. Where are they going to store it now in bulk if the facility is substantially damaged by the strike? So I think that this is all to be read is the kind of way the Ukrainians did before Kherson, the sort of strikes on the Antonovsky Bridge on various infrastructure, but on the right side of the Dnieper before the Ukrainian counteroffensive in Kherson. I think this is potentially part of the wider shaping of the battlefield for the coming Ukrainian offensive. Try and undermine and damage as much Russian logistics and support behind the lines as you can, just complicate the battlefield for the Russians going forward to go into the offensive. Speaking of which, the only real update I can give you guys from that is still waiting for it. Ukrainians haven't passed through it. But the Russians are greatly expanding their defenses all across the Zaporozhye axis. That seems to be the consensus. Again, a lot of danger with going with consensuses whenever you're talking about war stuff, but it makes logical sense why the Ukrainians would hit in Zaporozhye. But especially, it's happening all along the front, but Zaporozhye certainly is where the Russians are greatly expanding and deepening their defensive line. So any Ukrainian counteroffensive, I think, is it's not going to be another Kharkov. I think that the Ukrainian counteroffensive is going to face proper, real resistance. And I think both sides have kind of been pussyfooting around to a large degree across much of the war. Bakhmut, Popasna, Lysychansk. But before that, I mean, you had the incompetence of the Russians, and then you had the Ukrainians playing very coy. I think Kherson was kind of the first step of it, but I think this coming Ukrainian counteroffensive is where both sides are going to go at it. Full bore at each other, no hands off, bore off. Ukrainians are going to commit a significant amount of their strength in the offensive, and the Russians are going to commit a significant amount of their strength as well into the defense. So I think this is where, outside of like the initial invasion, I think the coming counteroffensive is probably going to be potentially the bloodiest element of the war. I think we're really going to see the capabilities of both sides as degraded or built up as they are. I think the counteroffensive is really, that's kind of where I'm at, is this is how to gauge where the war will go after that. The Ukrainians are just stopped, completely dead. I think we're looking for a form of Russian victory. As such, how you define that is another word, or what that entails is another word, but I think we're looking for a end to the conflict with a like Russian edge over it. If the Ukrainians really make gains, if they really just like plow through, take Tomak, take Melitopol or whatever, if they completely split open Russian lines, then I think we're looking for a pretty substantial Ukrainian victory. If it's tangential gains on either side, then I'm kind of holding to like stalemate kind of thing. That's kind of my expectations as such. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Telegram might be back soon in Brazil. A federal judge annulled the suspension. That should be good. I really don't know too much about it, but hopefully. I don't like it whenever governments in countries just arbitrarily ban platforms and stuff. So, bunker housing for another 50 Swedish krona. What oil is best for popcorn? Make full. I don't know what am I putting? What are the options for this poll? Because I'm not like, I don't know. Is there different oils used for making popcorn? I've never made popcorn. I wouldn't know. Crude. I like dirty popcorn. Rotten milk. Butter is best. Making me popcorn. Do you know Willie Ohm? Michael. No. Should I? Willie Ohm? Google and see. Comes up. A few months after returning from Justin went to Ukraine to fight shortly after the war started. He served in the infamous Azov Battalion. A few months after returning from deployment as a crew commander in Afghanistan, I was diagnosed with an incurable and inoperable brain tumor. I've taken upon myself to raise money for cancer research, share my story. Now I have a passion for it. Oh, I think I watched a video of this guy's like really back at the start of the war. Yeah, I am aware of this guy. I've only like watched one of his videos because I think he was in Ukraine at the start of the war, but I couldn't give you an in-depth take. Why do you ask? Okay, looks like he does a lot of streams on Ukraine. Visiting rebel-held territory in Syria. This poor guy's got essentially a terminal brain tumor, and he's pumping out videos on Ukraine. More power to him, I guess, but yeah, no, now that I see him, I am aware of him, but I haven't really watched his content, so I don't know what his take is, or if I can like give you a in-depth take on it. Why do you ask, Raki? Um, that's at the end is very important. Making apple pie all from scratch. Yeah, I bought some. I bought some apples from the shop the other day because they were on sale, and then whenever I got home, I realized they were cooking apples, not eating apples. So I figured flour's fairly cheap. I might as well just try my hand at actually baking something for once and trying to learn how to be an adult in my as I in my early 30s. So I'm gonna cook that and see how it goes. Right, we've gotten options for this poll. Paid for it, so I feel obligated to do it. I honestly don't know, so I can't add option. Peanut oil. That's the oil that's cooked in Five Guys. I think they cook their fries in peanut oil. Quite like Five Guys. It's so bloody expensive, but their fries are actually pretty good. Not too fussed on the burgers, but their fries are pretty dope. Whenever I used to go to, whenever I lived in London, whenever I was on a night out in town, if anyone knows London, okay, bunker housing, I am only allowed 4 options for this poll, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave out some flour oil at the end, so apologies for that. But as I'm rambling, I think it's probably just a bit more of a chill out stream now and allow people to vote in this poll. Whenever I used to go drinking out in London, at Charing Cross, I'm sure if people know of London, you'll know this place. I used to, especially whenever I was drunk, there was a great little shop called Herman's German, which did schnitzel and bratwurst and currywurst and all this great German food. Really took me back to my childhood whenever I lived in Germany. And that was the ultimate hangover or drunk food. Oh, this is why I was asking about currywurst a month ago. Curry, if you get currywurst, like the sauce, curry sauce, currywurst sauce, and you mix it up with mayonnaise and you put that on chips, it is so good. That is, love that stuff. Absolutely amazing. That was my jam. So always kind of got in the habit whenever I went drinking in London, to go for a Herman's German, which is on Villiers Street, just down by the side of Charing Cross as you go down to Bank tube station. That was my stop, but the pandemic killed off Herman's German, or at least that shop. So I then had to go to which goes back to the original point of Five Guys, was the Five Guys there at Charing Cross, like the next place I'd have to go, and so goddamn expensive. And again, I don't know why, and this might get me in trouble with YouTube, but for some reason, like Five Guys is like really popular with black people, and that Five Guys, every time you'd go into it, was always full of like these East London, like South London blacks who think they're like gangsters, like LA gangsters or stuff. So bizarre, and which was a shame because I really liked Five Guys, but like, well, it's expensive, but I don't understand how. Well, they're all almost certainly drug dealers. That's why, but just yeah, you don't want to really go into. Why can I click a station here? No, I don't want to go potentially get stabbed. Some man dem in it, bro. Some man dem from Brixton, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, for some gear. Some man dem from some South London blood. Well, I just tried to get an overpriced burger with some peanut oil cooked fries. That's my little anecdote of Five Guys. Very popular with black people for some reason. Don't know if it's like a status symbol for them. For the fish tank show you were into, was it a requirement to be autistic to be on it? What is the point of the show? Is there a winner? Don't like again. I know fish tank isn't everyone's forte, so don't want to labor it too much. If you're into it, honestly, just go. It's a very slow burn thing. It is like Big Brother, but the thing is the guy who runs it is Sam Hyde, and I'm not going to explain Sam Hyde. If you know of Sam Hyde, you know exactly why it's such good potential. So from my understanding is they put out like a casting call on Craigslist across the United States. What they did is they took in all the applications and they just looked for like the weirdest and most strange people who often there's a big overlap, like artists, and they just tapped them up and said, yeah, do you want to come be on a reality show? So I don't think it was quite a requirement to be autistic. It was just be weird. Like, find the most weirdest people who would reply to this ad on Craigslist and bring them into the house for 6 weeks, and then just let Sam Hyde fuck with them and put on text to speech and let the audience like harass and bully these people. The content is amazing. I'm not a reality TV kind of person, but I am a massive Sam Hyde fan, and I have to say, well, Sam Hyde's like the big guy in it, but it's organized by Sam's, I don't know if like his colleague, his assistant, Jet. I have to give big props to Jet. It's like, it's golden content. It's not the kind of thing where you can, and there are a lot of people who sit there and just watch it hour after hour, but whenever it like really picks up, whenever there's a fight in the house, or something happens, or there's a challenge, like it just picks up so well. And because they're all like really weird, like I am a Josie fan, big fan of Josie, who's like Rain Man level artist, Native American girl, who is very expressive with like her emotions. She's always stimming. It very endearing. And then you've got John, who's like has a wisp, and he's a massive Andrew Tate fan, and he reads the Bible, and he's got like an A5 level IQ, but he's really autistic. And Jason Goldstriker comes in and beats them up every time, like twice a day in a boxing match. It's just really weird personalities put into a house, and they're all forced to like compete with each other, and it's just surprisingly good content. And now I've just really become addicted to it. Like the community around it's really creative, kind of it's not to rehash what I was saying earlier on. It's kind of inspired me to like make some funny edits and memes and stuff, which is building up my own skill set. And yeah, they don't have to be autistic. They just have to be strange, weird individuals, and it all just comes together in just great content. It really is, and I love it. I really do. Kind of really hooked on it. The big thing is that there was a Chinese guy who was on it, who was kicked off because it was discovered that he's into cross-dressing and all this really weird shit. And he wrote a book along with a bunch of other really sketchy comments he's made on YouTube, but he wrote like a book for camp counselors, and I don't know what summer camps are like in the United States, so it's lost in translation here, but he wrote a book for camp counselors, like telling them how to sleep with people at like the kids and the teenagers at the camp without getting caught and into trouble. And then alongside that, he's made some like really sketchy comments about kissing kids and stuff like this. So that came out so alongside these people, they're all like terminally online and they're all weird and autistic. Alongside this, people have gone in and like looked into all their social media and dug up all their social media. So they found this stuff on this Chinese guy. So while this Chinese guy was in there, like the text to speech thing in the house. So a person pays some money, types in a message, and like Microsoft Sam voice just blares this message at people in the house for hours on end. So whenever this all came out for the Chinese guy, is the text to speech thing in the house was just constantly like asking him about this book and why he's always obsessed with like kids, and it got really weird. And then Sam came in, he goes by Jason Goldstriker. That's the character he plays in the show, and essentially convicted this like P word. I don't think I can say the P word on YouTube because I might get in trouble for it. But people who are too attracted to kids, for lack of a better expression, confronted him on the show, and it was the most awkward but compelling content like I've ever watched. Because like whenever you do like stings for like predators and stuff and that kind of stuff, it's always like really scripted. You think of like Chris Hansen stuff, and it's all very contained, professional. Well, it was Sam Hyde just like went on the show, into the house, and just like read out his book to him, and like told him get the fuck off the show. It was great. It was just great content. So that's kind of where my obsession comes from it. It's just really compelling and interesting content. So, but like I say, I am aware that it's not everyone's forte. And it's a very much of a more Marmite show, but I'm really not a Big Brother reality TV show fan, but I've just kind of really bought into this because the content is just so compelling. It's just, yeah. So that's kind of where my autistic obsession has been as of late. So it was a guy, he looked like a woman. Yeah, he had long hair. It just really weird guy. Like, I don't, because I thought like Thais are their own weird thing, and like Japanese people, yeah, there's some weird things that go on in Japan, like with sex and anime and fetishes and stuff, but usually it's kind of like quasi kept behind closed doors. But Chinese people, I kind of thought they were immune to this stuff, but this guy was into like cross-dressing and these weird books he was saying, and just apparently he was like obsessed with the idea of becoming some kind of celebrity, and it was just whenever he got confronted on the show, just great. Like one of the greatest thing, certainly one of the best bits of content I've ever watched online. So Enigma for another $5 Thank you so much. You can do it. A little picture of a pie. Don't mind my shite talk. I'm just bored. If men can identify as women, they can identify as fun. Oh, okay. I mean, I feel free. I mean, if you're gonna shit talk me, I'm not gonna, as long as it's not like malicious. Even if it is malicious, if you give me money, I don't care. But Michael, your energy really picks up talking about Fish Tank. Yeah, I know. I'm just a bit of an obsessive at the moment. It's just for all the stuff I've been doing for like the past year, I've just pretty much watched everything on YouTube or online that I'd be interested in watching. All the series, all like the backlog documentaries, all the audiobooks. I've kind of watched them all, so I'm kind of struggling to find something to put on in the background to keep me occupied. So I'm always like looking forward to the next podcast that comes out from, say, like Mad at the Internet, or those kind of stuff. New content is what I'm looking for. And then you've got Fish Tank. It's just rolling content 24/7, white noise in the background, and every now and again it's just like great stuff happens in it, and it's just kind of what I kind of crying out for at the moment as I try to motivate myself to partake in reality and society at the moment. So yeah, like I say, the community is just hilarious. Like, yeah, it's just a viral sensation, and I've bought completely into it. So enough with the Fish Tank, because again, I am conscious that it is very much I might be really into it, but other people might not. So I'm not worried all too much. We're here to talk about Ukraine, or well, I guess this specific stream. How are we doing with the poll? Cooking oil and coconut oil are the ones leading at the moment. I think I have a jar of coconut oil. Whenever I got into the habit of frying bananas, still have some coconut oil from that, which I haven't gotten around to use. Might go out and buy bananas, fry them again. With that, how are you guys? Maureen, how are you? Hope you're keeping well. Carolina, hope you're keeping well. Bunker Housing, Enigma, Sister Tenacious, hope you're all keeping well. been a while since I've done a bit of a stream, and I know this isn't like a regular proper stream, but more just a bit of a chill out stream. I need to learn how to parcel up YouTube videos. You know, the way like videos have the little timestamps that you can skip between at the various points. I need to sort of sit down and do that, especially for the long, winding streams. I'd like to know about your opinion of the new King of Britain. Why I'm a monarchist. It's not my place to criticize the king, and you know, yeah, he might be associated with some groups and stuff, but I mean, he is the king, and as long as he sort of keeps that a bit out of his roles, I am a monarchist. It's not my place to criticize the king. I'm looking forward to the coronation. I really wanted to be in London for the coronation, but I'm just too poor at this point. So, but I'm a big fan of. Since he's ascended to the throne, I've been a big fan. I don't understand this sort of hatred of his environmentalism. I mean, like he's, I think that's just kind of like the people who think, oh, he's associated with the World Economic Forum, and therefore anything associated with the World Economic Forum and environmentalism is inherently like evil. No, I mean, like the king does a lot of, especially whenever he's the Prince of Wales. He did a lot of good stuff for like planting trees. He's environmental concerns and stuff like that, which I'm a big fan of. He's the patron of various charities that rewild parts of Britain. It reintroduces extinct species into the UK, which I'm a big fan of. It might be surprising to some of you, these guys, some of you people, but I've kind of mentioned it before, but like I am a big environmentalist, so maybe that's just why I like that aspect of the king. I also like his personal little architectural development. For people who are not aware, like the king, well, he was the prince at the time, but he like sponsored and helped promote, and I believe he actually took part in the designing process of a town called Poundsbury. Pound spelt as in like pound sterling, Poundsbury, which is a completely new build town, but it's architecturally, it sort of like rejects modern architecture and sort of synthesizes modern architecture with old styles, so old like Edwardian and Georgian architectural styles, which I'm a big fan of. The town looks great. Architecturally, it looks beautiful, and apparently it's a very good place to live, and it's got the patronage of the king. So, no, yeah, some positions he's held, not a big fan of, but you know, he was the Prince of Wales. And again, I'm just a monarchist by heart. I don't see how people can be like patriotic but then hate the monarchy. I don't think you can really be British and not have some form of respect or adoration might be too strong, but I don't think you can be a Republican and be British. It just goes against the grain of this country. This country is at its heart a dynastic state, and so much history and culture is entwined with the history of the monarchy. So, that's kind of my take on the king. Very much looking forward to the coronation. I know there's going to be aspects of it I don't like. The diversity aspect and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, not a big fan of that. But the coronation is the coronation. I can overlook certain aspects that I'm not going to be big fans of. If he brings up like a drag queen on stage, then yeah, that's going to be a big yikes. I will critique the king if he does that, but I don't think he's going to do that. So I think there's going to be a couple of street parties near me that I will go and attend. At the moment, cooking oil is leading by 35% in the popcorn poll. I'm just kind of meandering now, so I'm probably going to shut down the stream soon. It was only meant to be a quick one, just give you all guys an update. I might, yeah, I'll do a stream on Monday or Tuesday to some degree. I'm not too sure what on, but I'll do a proper bit of a stream. This stream was just meant to be like an update stream, just let you guys know what's been going on. and just sort of give you guys a bit of an explanation, just kind of being upfront and I don't want to say accountable, sounds a bit gay, but just letting you guys in what's happening behind the scenes and stuff. If you don't like the king, you shouldn't be a Republican. You should want a new king. I guess, yeah, that's kind of a more based version, but Hanoverians, Saxe-Coburgs, British monarchs do not abdicate. We had an abdication before, and it was horrific, and it was all down to marrying an American, which kind of rings bells for Harry, but again, I'm not going to get into that. It's not quite the monarchist stream, but Americans and monarchies do not mix. It's never worked out well, especially with British monarchies. Wallace Simpson and Meghan Markle are kind of cut from the same cloth. So, but I do think William and then his delightful son George, I think beautiful little family. Not a bad payday for a quickie. $45 US, and then YouTube takes what, 30% of that. I'm really bad at 30%. My way of doing this would be half and half, so half of that, 20. Going to get round about $38. Yeah, it's not too bad. Thank you everyone who has sent that. Is greatly appreciated. So with that, can I bring it up on stream? Come up on stream. Or is this just streaming the game? And for it to want to come up. Or am I streaming the display or am I streaming the game? Yeah, okay, streaming. So just to sort of round it out, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do come check my Twitter, and also there is a super cool link tree which I will throw into chat now. That is, if you aren't somehow on that, do go in and check that for links to all my stuff, various channels. I'll update this for the Rumble if I actually decide to invest properly in Rumble, and the various ways, if you are so minded, you can pick me some. How much does coffee take from you out of curiosity? They say they take none, but I'm doubtful. I think coffee actually takes a very small amount. Coffee. Do coffee take a fee? Coffee takes 0 of your okay, apparently it takes enough. I could swear that they probably took like maybe a 1% or something, but apparently they don't. I haven't quite seen a lot of coffee lately, so I haven't quite looked into it too deep, but yeah, apparently they don't. I'm not too sure how sustainable coffee is, because I have heard about people getting kicked off it. The thing is I don't want to get too invested. Like, I'd really like to get rid of the PayPal, but the PayPal is like the easiest, simplest way, because it just goes straight into the PayPal, and I can just take it straight from there. And as far as I can tell, I don't think it takes any cut. And the way I've got it set up, which I wish I kind of figured out how to do originally, is it loads. Is this here? Like, this to me is like easy, simple way to do it. But PayPal is like really fickle. I know plenty of people who've been kicked off for PayPal, and I use PayPal for other stuff, so I'd ideally like to move away from PayPal, which I was hoping Subscribestar would do. But I have to keep. I think I'm a bit too small to be picked up by these platforms and stuff. But if I did ever get traction, is I know like these kind of platforms would probably not be the most sustainable then. So I don't want to get too invested into them, and then say like down the road, say like what YouTube nearly did, just completely cut me off at the legs, and then I'm kind of like stuck in a creek. So I'd like to find either diversify out a bit or just find a reliable platform where I can just sort of then really invest everything in, which is what I was hoping like Subscribestar would have been. But I've said enough about that already. Might send them another harassing email and see if they'll get back up. So, pardon me. Do check out the link tree. I will update. I'm not too sure if I'm going to stick with Rumble. I'll play about with it and see how I feel with it. And I feel like, pardon me, if I feel like it's worth it, I'll throw a Rumble link up into this as well. So, oh, pardon me. Drinking. Yeah, my Coke Zero kick didn't go too well. I'm drinking it again. It's got a bit of gas. Yeah, go follow me on my various stuff. And you can find some pure beef tallow. Mix that half and half in with the butter for your pie crust. Michael, it's surprisingly good. I don't know where I'd find beef tallow at 9 o'clock at night. Oh, that's cool. I've been donating on that platform, Coffee. So which donate venue do you prefer us to use for now? Honestly, whatever is convenient for you. I don't want you like it's honestly generous enough. If you are going to throw me money, I kind of feel a bit remiss like telling you guys, no, you have to send it this way. Whatever way you feel comfortable, it's all greatly appreciated. Use whatever platform you feel is best. My only thing is like with YouTube is it's kind of like a 30% cut they take out of, which I think is like a bit, 30% is pretty big. Like a super chat, a bit extortionate in my view. And where's that 30% of that money going? Because I can imagine if you're giving me money, you're probably, we probably all come from a sort of same kind of place of worldview. And I can imagine that 30% is probably going to fund stuff that you/we would fundamentally like disagree with strongly. So that's my concern around the YouTube stuff. But other than that, like, not saying don't, but whatever way is easiest and convenient for you. That's kind of why I like if I bring it back up. This is kind of why. Actually, let's have a look at what coffee's like. Oh. I think coffee's pretty easy to use. I need to go back and actually send. I don't think. Yeah, I need to get a bit more invested in coffee. But the thing about the PayPal was, like, this to me seems like the easiest, simplest way is if you want to give one off, you just go there and type in. Or if you want to give weekly or monthly or something, and then like that to me needs to be simple, needs to be efficient, needs to be quick. Because I don't want someone to be sitting there for like 20 minutes figuring out how to send me like $20 or something. To me, that's just extortionate. Like if people have to go out of their way to do it, then I kind of feel bad. So that's kind of my thing around it. Probably why crypto never really quite took off. But then my concern with YouTube is, one, you just don't know when YouTube's like is going to pull the rug. Kind of got a new lease of life, second chance with YouTube this time. But I mean, like next time, if I get really invested and have like everyone hooked into sending super chats or something, and then YouTube just decides, nope, you can't do that anymore. I would have gotten over invested in something that's not quite sustainable, and then on top of that, what they do send is they take quite a big cut out of. So that's just kind of like my thinking around it. Get a Cash App. I do have a Cash App. There at the bottom. I don't really know how it works though. I've never used Cash App before, but there is a Cash App there for. I don't know how sustainable that is or what its moderation policies are like, but so there's Cash App, Coffee, and PayPal. They're kind of the ways I've got at the moment. I do have crypto addresses, but you can't really put them in there, and I don't really think many people like donate in crypto. I think it dropped a bit lately, hasn't it? No, with my crypto stuff, I just kind of keep it in a wallet and let it mature over time. Maybe I'll become a millionaire. Maybe I'll just completely bottom out. I don't know. Kind of how I treat crypto stuff. So that's my thinking around that kind of stuff. So again, for anyone who does send something, it is greatly appreciated. It really is. Thank you so much. Maybe it's because I updated the PayPal stuff. That's why it like stopped sending out thank you messages or something. I'll have to look back into that. But that's kind of my thoughts on that. Oh yeah, beef tallow. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to find beef tallow at like 9 at night. Plus, this is going to be like my first time properly baking, so it's probably going to be a disaster anyway. Just keep it nice and simple. And if I don't kill myself with food poisoning, I might have a nice tasty apple pie to munch on tomorrow. Cash App CEO got killed. Yeah, apparently he was like a really big into like the diversity bro, constantly encouraging diversity and that stuff, and then he got stabbed and murdered by a black homeless man in San Francisco. You know, pretty sucks for his family, but you know, can I really feel sorry for someone like that? Like, you kind of created the thing that destroyed you in the end, bro. Hoisted on his own petard, so to speak. Don't vape, I don't vape. Don't smoke, I don't vape. I only drink socially. Don't do drugs. I've never even smoked marijuana. I just hate the whole weed culture thing. I just find, oh god, ugh. Well, hey bro, 420 dude. Hey man, free the weed. We're gonna go toke a bud. Just found that whole thing. Oh god, so pathetic, so cringe. My eyes roll in the back of my head whenever I hear people talk about like stuff. Well, that's it. So unless there's anything immediately apparent that you guys need to throw in right at the end, the poll has coconut oil leading by 41%, vegetable oil by 14%, cooking oil by 23%, and peanut oil by 23%. So that's the poll. So, pardon me. We will round out the poll. Any last shout outs, any last things anyone wants to make me aware of? Gone on a bit longer than I expected. Only hoping to do like maybe half an hour to 40 minutes, but we're approaching an hour 30. And I kind of feel bad taking so long, essentially rambling on about myself, my life. So anyone's got anything last they want to kick in? Last takes? Don't know how long the latency is, so wait a minute and then I'll shut it down if nothing comes in. So I think that's pretty much it. So thanks guys for coming along. Appreciate it. Honestly, the guys who popped some coin into the bucket, thank you so much. And all greatly appreciated. Kosovo belongs to Serbia. Bye bye. Have a lovely weekend. Yep, you guys have a lovely weekend as well. Have a nice evening. And I will speak to you guys in the near future. So thank you for coming, and I'll speak to you all soon. And again, thank you so much for like your support. Just liking and subscribing to my stuff. I don't think my stuff's really good enough to ask you guys like go around and share it with your friends. Hey guys, come look at this strange Northern Irish British guy who like makes poor videos and streams. I'm not quite at that level, but certainly liking helps in the algorithm, as every big YouTuber seems to say monotonously on their videos. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, and hopefully a bit more of a proper stream sometime this week. So with that, thank you very much guys, and I'll speak to you all soon. Auf Wiedersehen.